and welcome to Carol's Kitchen. I'm Carol and I'm a Thermomix consultant here in Perth, WA. This month, the month of May, is baking month, so a lot of Thermomix posts will be focusing on baking, and one of my favourite cookies is actually a chewy chocolate butter cookie. So that's what I'm going to cook today. I'm also going to highlight the benefit of having two bowls, because the current bundle with purchase offer is a second bowl blade and lid set for just $99, and that saves you a whacking $276. Sales are really going out the door, so if it's something you're interested in, then don't hang around, get in touch and we can sort you out with. Alright, so let's start cooking our chocolate butter cookies. So it's obviously a cookie dough recipe. Preheat the oven, that's already on. The first thing we have to do is to mill some sugar. So this is in the first bowl. So it's just 200 grams of sugar. Let's take the butterfly out, we don't need that. Now this is going to use the blend mode. So let's just put the blend mode on for 20 seconds and see what happens. So it's a little bit like a stage prop, isn't it? Having the sugar smoke. Oh, there we go. So there we have got milled sugar. So we've actually made icing sugar here. That's one of the great things about a Thermomix. You don't have to buy lots of different kinds of things. You can make most things. So just buying ordinary sugar, whether it's raw sugar or white sugar, you can create your caster sugar, your icing sugar, and even your brown sugars by the addition of molasses. So it's a really good way of saving some money too. So next, so I need to just scrape down the bowl. A bit foggy in here. And we're going to add some butter. So this is 140 grams of butter, and it's just broken up into rough cubes to make the blending a bit easier. 1 egg large and 2 egg yolks from large eggs. So those are all going in. These little bamboo bowls are new into the mix shop too. They're wonderful, they're little eco bowls. So they're great for serving dips or for part of your prep work. They look really nice. Insert the measuring cup, which just means pop the lid on, as you all know by now. And then we're using the blend mode again, so we've got 1 minute. We're just going to blend that mixture in the Thermomix. So with the blend mode, it starts off slowly and then it just builds up speed because it's all automatically. It's great for just making that quick smoothie in the morning. So what benefits are there to a second bowl blade or lid set? Well, there are lots, but one not very obvious one is when you come to a step in the recipe that says clean and dry your mixing bowl. You don't have to do that. Pop your bowl to the side, get your cream on, and off you go again. So it saves you time, it saves you washing up, and it really speeds up the process of making the recipes or even doing several recipes, because you can do one whole recipe and then just move on to another recipe by getting your second bowl. So there's a thick batter, and now it's just telling me to remove that mixing bowl and set it aside. So place your second bowl in position. I'm actually really lucky because I've got 3 bowls, and one of the benefits of becoming a consultant, apart from all the fun and great people you meet and all the learning opportunities, you earn a bowl, blade and lid set after 6 sales. So there's so many great incentives to being a consultant. Next, we've got some dark chocolate. This is 70% cocoa chocolate. It's not quite 225 grams. The blocks have got a bit smaller. They're now 180 grams, the blocks, but I think that's probably enough chocolate anyway. This is going to be a little bit noisy, 15 seconds, and again we're using the blend mode. Okay, scrape down the sides. Another great reason for having a second bowl is that there are a number of times that you start to do something and then you think, oh, I forgot to mill the sugar to make caster sugar, or I forgot to grate the cheese, or I forgot to make almond meal. those sort of occasions, all you need to do is to get out your second bowl and do that step. And again, you know, you're not having to buy all of those things. You make them as you need them. So I don't know if you can see that grated chocolate. It smells divine. So I'm going to carry on with this bowl. We're going to now melt this. So we've got 6 minutes at 65 degrees. I'm just going to turn the speed selector to 1. So whilst that's melting, let's just recap. If you're using a second bowl, lots of reasons why you will use a second bowl, and quite honestly, once you've got a second bowl, you would never go back to only having one. So people who are upgrading from their 5s with 2 bowls to a 6 are jumping at the chance to get the second bowl for $99. For example, if you're making bread, you can actually leave your dough to rise in one bowl and then start another bread or something else in your second bowl. So you could be making a filling if you're making scrolls, or you could be making a sauce if you're going to make pizza. You can move seamlessly through food prep as well. You know, if you're perhaps on a weekend preparing 2 or 3 meals to have during the week, you know, several bowls just means that you can just move on and get through all of that quickly. There are times when you really want a clean and dry bowl. If you're melting chocolate, you really don't want a tiniest bit of moisture in there. So having a bowl that you're sure is perfectly clean and dry is essential. And if you have to clean and dry your bowl in the steps in the process of making, say, a chocolate ganache, you made a cake and you want to do a chocolate ganache, then it's really hard to make sure that your bowl's clean and dry enough to then melt the chocolate. Another example of needing a really clean, sparkling bowl is if you're making meringue. So, you know, having a clean and dry, sparkling clean bowl for making meringue is essential too. So you can make your pastry for your lemon meringue, you can make the filling for your lemon meringue, but then you want to make the meringue in a nice clean bowl. Second or third bowls are really good if there are allergies or different food preferences in the family. So you can have a bowl that is specifically nut-free, for example, or meat-free if you've got a vegetarian or a vegan in the family. Sometimes people like to make their own domestic products, like their own washing powder or face creams, their own cleaning products. And again, a second bowl is really handy if you want to put one aside specifically for doing something like that. So a second bowl definitely saves you time. It's great for those health options, like we were saying, allergies, food preferences. It gives you the energy and the motivation to carry on cooking. You know, sometimes you come home and you've got a recipe and you think, oh, do I really want to cook? If you don't have to clean and dry a bowl in the process, you just get another one out, you can get your food on the table more quickly. So that temptation to pick up the phone and let's just order something in is less likely to happen. And that's going to save you money as well. And buying a second bowl for $99 with the current bundle offer is a great money saver too. So, as I say, they are selling quickly. If you're interested in getting a TM6 or upgrading to a TM6, if you want to have any more information for me to do a quick virtual demo or face-to-face demo, then very, very happy to do that. I've got just over a minute to go. Of course, at the end of the day, when you've finished your cooking, you can either put on the pre-clean modes, do your bowls that way, and the pre-clean mode's just recently been upgraded, so it's actually really, well, it was upgraded a little while ago and was much better. Now they've improved it even more, so it does actually wash the lids, and you've got the different settings on screen, so it's a bit easier to use. So also talking about the opportunity to run your own Thermomix consultancy business. It's a great opportunity. There's lots of flexibility. As I say, it's lots of fun. And the system's changed a little bit recently. The business kit, I think, is $125 to purchase now. It includes a carry case, a Thermomix, a thermo server, all your stationery that you need. And of course you get lots of training as well, which is all free. Once you've sold 3 Thermomixes, you get $125 to spend, voucher to spend in the mix shop. So basically you're getting the cost of your business kit back. So yeah, if you fancy a little bit of a change, you've got a little bit of spare time, want to get out there, learn a lot more about your Thermomix, because you certainly learn an awful lot when you become a consultant. If you've got the passion for your Thermomix, or you really want to get into Thermomixing, then it's a really wonderful opportunity. You can either bring your own Thermomix if you've got a TM6, or you can use it as an earn opportunity. So you can actually get a Thermomix on your bench right now and earn it. All right, enough chat, let's carry on. So it's add the butter mixture from the reserved bowl. So I'm just going to put this back. So beautiful chocolatey mess down here. These biscuits are so good. I only really make them when I've got a few people to share them with, because they're very moreish. I don't think I can get much more out of there. And then next, we're going to add 225 grams of all-purpose flour. Now, I've actually pre-weighed these ingredients, as you probably guessed, but every time it asks you to add a weighed ingredient, then the scales come up. The scales weigh to 1 gram, so they're nice and accurate, which is important when you're doing baking. And then half a teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoonful of cornstarch, both of which I've got in this nice little bamboo bowl here. A measuring cup, which is, as you know, just means put the lid on. And now we're using the blend mode. Blend mode's really popular in this recipe. Just 30 seconds. So when you're using a mode, you don't have to set it, you just have to turn that knob a little bit and the mode off it goes. So it's great the way that the new modes are being incorporated into recipes. The more liquid to get a ball. Okay, now I'm not sure you're going to be able to see this, but there is a beautiful chocolatey dough in there. Now this recipe, the chocolate dough is slightly warm. And you take about a dessert spoon of it, you can, or an ice cream scoop actually, you can use an ice cream scoop as well. Put balls of it onto your lined baking tray, and again I use my Thermomat instead of baking paper. It's really good, non-stick, and you know, you're not using paper all the time. So about an ice cream scoop size ball, dessert spoon, onto the mat, and then we're just going to bake it for 15 minutes at about 180. Yeah, so they're telling you approximately 30 grams. So each biscuit is about 30 grams. But what I was really going to tell you was that you don't have to use all the batter. If you make the balls, you can then pop them into a Ziploc bag and pop them in your freezer. So when you do want to have a quick afternoon tea and you need a bit of biscuit dough quickly, you've got it there ready to go. In fact, there are quite a few cookie recipes that are great for having some dough in the freezer. The $250 cookies are really good for that. And also the Anzac biscuit dough too goes well into the freezer. See what it looks like on screen. It's just showing you there the little dough balls on a baking tray. So I just put some of the dough into a bowl here so that I can easily scrape it out. You don't really want to have metal in your Thermomix bowl because you don't want metal on the metal blades. So I'm also using my ice cream scoop from my consultant toolkit. I am a little bit anal about having evenly sized cookies, so I am just going to weigh that. 30 grams, wow, that's pretty much perfect, isn't it? Right, and put the ball onto my baking tray, do one more. 31, that will do. Okay, I'll see you on the other side of making these biscuits.